Hi kids. It's another ramble from me tonight. I'm still working on the Fate version of Lady Saber and the Ineffable Pirates of the Ineffable Ether. It's a work in progress. I'm thinking that I will put my notes in a form that somebody can access when I post the episode about it, so that people can sort of build from the notes. Still trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. Probably like a Google Drive thing or something like that. That's an idea. If you have any thoughts on it, let me know. Beyond that, and I got some nice feedback about that today, and that made me happy. Probably go up on Thursday or Friday, so that'll be nice. Beyond that, I went on eBay a while back, and I ordered myself a nice thing. It wasn't, mainly because it was cheap. I got it for cheap. And I wanted it for my collection. So I got the Basic D&D box set. Now, this is the rule book. They didn't really give you a lot of rule book back then. And this is the legendary adventure Keep on the Borderlands. Now, the box is it's in rough shape, which is why I'm not messing with it right now. I'm probably going to take some cardstock and try and strengthen the joints and such to make it a little better. And sadly, it didn't come with the dice, so that's sad. But it's the original basic box set, so it's pretty old. So understandable that it's a little in rough shape. But the books are in great shape, as you can see. They're in really good shape, the books are interesting to go through. Getting to the place we are now, and Dungeons and Dragons, and gaming in general, the books are really streamlined. Okay, they've got they've got some of the things in here that are definitely done away with, even in Advanced D&D, which was out at the same time. And they have some things that are the same. For instance, they've still got essentially Thaco, which, probably the best thing from 3rd edition was changing how that worked out, I think. And they've got some interesting things. Magic users and elves. Elves, halflings, dwarves are all classes in here. They are not, races separate and unto themselves. They have a class progression, which is interesting. And actually, a lot of early computer role-playing games ended up going that route. I seem to remember. Elves can cast spells like magic users, but they can use weapons like fighters. Let's see. They have alignment languages in here, which sort of came and went a few times in the different versions of D&D. Whereas the idea is that you can communicate with other members of your alignment, and people who are not that alignment can't understand you. It's not a written language. You can only communicate through gestures and such. And somehow, if you change alignment, you forget it. Right. Okay. I've got, but I mean, they've got some basic stuff in here. They've got the clerics, which, turning and the whole 9 yards, and you got fighters, magic users, thieves. and like I said, elves, halflings, and dwarves. And there's only 3 levels in here. 3 levels of progression. So, yeah. So there's not a lot of progression in here. But you know what? As slow as the progression was, this would get you through till you got to expert set. I'm just saying. And looking at some of the monsters in here, they got your troglodytes, your yellow mold, the white. They got the white in here. Let's see. What else? Do we have any dragons in here? I would doubt they would have dragons. Not at 3rd level. Kobolds. Oh, you gotta love a kobold. I actually always had a thing for playing kobolds. I always thought they were kind of neat. In the later editions, when you could play monsters, I thought they were neat. They got goblins. Oh yeah, they do have a dragon. Yeah. They even have like the shape of the breath that comes out. How to handle saving throws with them. Let's see. How to handle, if the dragon can talk. They have specific write-up about gold dragons. Gold dragons always talk and use spells. They can also change their shape and often appear in the form of humans or other animals. Gold dragons may breathe either fire, like a red dragon, or chlorine gas, like a green dragon. See? That's pretty cool. And it refers you to the expert set to deal with them. But, yeah, it's got the chromatic dragons and then the one metallic dragon, the gold dragon. So, it's early days. A lot of the structure that they added to dragons in later versions of D&D don't show up yet. Carrion crawlers and bugbears. Bugbears, you gotta love a bugbear. But, yeah, I think this is pretty cool. This is an adventure, and one of the things that's interesting about this one is it includes a lot of advice, which I find interesting, about how to be an effective game master, how to manage your time. This one is one of the most legendary modules probably ever in D&D. Keep of the Borderlands has been, it's up there with Tomb of Horrors and Ravenloft, as far as adventures that are famous. This, Isle of Dread, I think everybody knew about Isle of Dread. And, yeah, it was nice. It didn't cost me a lot of money. Actually got it pretty cheap. So I was pretty happy about that. I didn't mind grabbing it. I may see if I can get a hold of an expert set and, get the full realm. Looking at it, I can see the things that would drive me a little crazy now just because of the stuff I've gotten used to. I've gotten used to a lot of things in D&D over the years. Having skill checks. Not in here. No skill checks. You have, thieves skill stuff, but you don't have, can I use my arcane knowledge to figure out how to do that? No, there's nothing like that. There's no, religious lore. There's no perception checks. There's, you have a percentage chance that the bad guy heard you when you were sneaking, and that's about it. And that is a pretty solid part of later versions of D&D, so that's a thing. And there are a few other things that I would miss, I guess. But it's also the basic set. They didn't, this was as simple as it gets. Basic D&D, the first set, only handles the first 3 levels, it's really about as simple as it gets. So, you get what you pay for, I guess. I don't know if that's really the appropriate setting here, but it's not going to be a deeply complex thing. And I think that's one of the odd lessons with it is, here's a very simple, very easy to get into game system. And if you want to add extra bits to it, buy the next rule system. I've got rule systems, books that are that thick. If you want like the hero system, or I've got the what's the other one? The one that's huge that I have. The Star Blazer Adventures, which is not based off of the anime, but off of the British science fiction comic. They're enormous, and they include almost everything you could ever possibly want for your game using that system. The Pathfinder core rulebook is pretty huge, and it covers a lot. It covers basically your DMG and your player's handbook, and then you have your bestiary for your monster manual. And it wasn't until later that the whole, you could put everything you could ever possibly need into one book seemed like a good idea. And I'm not certain that it is always a good idea. It can be daunting to pick up a book, and it's like, all right, this is a lot to learn, and you feel like you need to learn all of it, even if it says in the book, oh, you don't need to know everything. So keeping it simple, keeping it small, and then adding complexity from there is not a bad way to go. Just saying. I would play a game of this today, I think. I would play a game of this, and I would have fun, assuming that nobody worried too much about the rules and game balance and crazy things like, how we're so much better now. If we just sat there and enjoyed the game for what it is, I think I would have fun playing this. So, thought I'd share that. This is my ramble for tonight. Y'all have a good time, and I'm coming up on my 30th episode for the month, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'll come up with something. Talk to you later. Subscribe, like, share with all the peoples, and I will talk to you later.